All right. So, Steve, I got all these notes. I'm excited about this podcast episode. I wrote a bunch of things down because I listened to your last episodes. So let me go ahead and introduce you real quick so I can start this. I'll start from this point on. So let's go and action. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Easy for Me to Say with Danette Mark. And I am Danette Mark. I am your host. I'm also here with a guest. His name is Stephen Webb. Hi, Stephen.
Hello. It's all nervous when you go like action. That's like,
I know.
it's like the cat in headlights. It's like, oh my God, they've just turned the headlights on.
The cat in headlights? Oh man, that cat's in
headlights,
trouble with just these headlights. Well, better than a deer because you're not going to do as much damage to the car.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
I'm teasing.
Yeah.
It's so good to have you here.
Good.
Again, part 2.
Yeah, last time I had to rush
good?
off and we like stopped suddenly, didn't we? It was like, and I went to an appointment that was with a mindful person that I was wondering whether I was going to do some training with, or they were going to train me to be more mindful. And either he is an absolute genius and he taught me that I really don't need training.
Who, Ivan? What's his name?
He was I won't say his name.
Oh, I thought you said Ivan here. Like, oh,
no,
who's that? Sorry, I heard you wrong.
He's either an absolute genius and he knew that I did not need it, or he wasn't that mindful. One of the other. I don't know which.
You're not sure if he's giving you the right advice.
It was really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a difference 2 weeks have made.
Yeah.
Different world we're living in.
Yeah, I think we haven't talked on here for almost a month. I think you and I. It's been a month, Stephen. Yeah, I recall because it's on my 23rd episode. I think you were like 18. So I don't know, but who cares? We're here and we're alive. And Steve and I were chatting a little bit before we started about the coronavirus. And he was talking about, he's in the UK and I'm here in America. So it's a big, I want to know, I'm just going to ask him real quick because I have a lot of American listeners. What's going on in the UK? Have you seen, is it as big of a deal there as it is here? Are they closing things down?
We're in this weird limbo at the moment. We've got a prime minister that is getting all this advice about this herd immunity. I can't even say the word. I find it really difficult. Herd immunity. So his idea is if enough of us get it, we will grow this immunity and then the vulnerable will be protected. The only problem with that is the vulnerable aren't on a separate island while the rest of them grow.
Right.
So there's this weird limbo. They seem to be telling people don't go to the bars, don't go to the restaurants, stay away from large crowds. But they haven't shut the schools down. They seem to be advising but not doing anything.
So they're not banning, they're just saying
they're just saying people not to do it. And it's just really weird because I don't really get it. It's like everybody else is saying, look, this is a real big problem. Let's shut everything down. But people are still going to the pubs. People are still going to, they seem to be blasé about it. And the government has said anybody over 70 needs to self-isolate. But they aren't saying how or what it means, and we got no toilet rolls.
So there's self-isolating, there's social distancing, and the self-isolating is for the elderly, like people 71 or older, or 70 or older. I don't want to say they're elderly. That's wrong. But, for the older folks.
Yeah.
Oh God, sorry. I'm
That's
about to
right.
buy a phone call. I gotta shut my volume off.
Can I dance?
I forgot to do that. Thank God we weren't doing any recording on here. We've been interrupted. Sorry, give me 1 second. I apologize. I'm very unprofessional. Okay, now it's off.
This is life.
So here's the thing. So they're not like, I think I saw one of your videos, really a couple of minutes of your video where they're talking, you had a video the other day on Facebook, a live you did about the virus and how they're doing in the schools. And you would be considered one of the vulnerable. So
I'm paralyzed from the neck down.
Yeah.
I broke my neck when I was 18 and none of my chest muscles are working. So none of my intercostal muscles, the ones you cough and sneeze with, they don't work. So that deep breathing diaphragm, that's the only one I breathe with. So at night when you're breathing, that's the one I breathe with 24 hours a day. So any kind of pneumonia or any kind of flu or anything like that really hits my lungs, and I find it really difficult. Plus I'm diabetic. Plus you got the other things. So I am one of the vulnerable ones.
So you're self-isolating then, right? I hope.
I am pretty much.
This is a new setup. So,
As
yeah.
I am pretty much. I've got carers coming in because I've got, obviously, I need nearly everything done for me, and they're washing their hands when they're coming in. We're really being quite fussy, and I think for a
Well,
few
good.
weeks everybody thought I was freaking out and all that, and I don't mind if people think I'm freaking out. I would rather freak out and us get it all wrong and not lose loved ones and go, okay, we got it wrong, than not freak out, lose lots of people, lots of loved ones, and not have done anything.
I'm
That's
with
the
you. Err
reason.
on the side of caution. And you know, why
Yeah.
not? It's a
Uh,
virus, for God's sakes.
and
It's
if
not like
all
it's,
the countries do the same thing,
yeah,
then it's not such a big economic disaster,
right.
because when one country goes down, it's hard for them to recover and do all the things. But if the whole world drops and slows down, the whole world can recover in the same way.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that this will really do is it expose people for their true nature of really how they're showing up
Yeah.
in the spiritual world. And the people who look after themselves will do that anyway. Good on them. I don't need to look after them then. On the
Yeah.
other hand, the people that are genuinely spiritual and genuinely caring, and I'm talking companies now as well as people
Right.
and governments, they
True.
will change the way they do things. And you
Yeah.
see it. One of our supermarkets over here are opening different times just for the elderly and the vulnerable. Lots of little things like that are happening, which they're the companies that do really well. The companies that just close up and look at the government and go, please help us, rather than change the way they're doing things. So it's a great movement for humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good, one of the titles that I've got for my book is A Gift of No Choice.
The gift of no.
And
Oh my God. I love you're saying that gift of no choice, because I was just reading about how having too many choices is actually a bad thing.
yeah,
It's like this one guy wrote a book called The Choice Paradox. Like you having all these choices, but then again, it doesn't make you happy to have all those choices. Deep down, you just want to have, because people are always, because they're never happy. They're always looking for the best thing. Oh, and the next best thing. When
yeah,
really it's just take something that's good. How about just accepting what's good and what the flaws, and not, because you spend your whole life looking and then you
yeah.
end up with nothing or very little.
I
So it's
know.
better because you keep always on the lookout for something better, and that's not a good feeling to be
Yeah.
under, like the stress, right? Is that what you're leading into, or with your book?
Yeah, virtually that. And but there's three types of people. There's people that are they're like locked in a cage with the door open. They don't know they can get out and do something with their lives. There's the people that are comfortable, that will never do anything with their lives. And there's the chargers. Trying to think of his name now in the book. His name will come to me in a minute. But
Okay.
there's the chargers that will go out and get things, like you and like other comedians.
The go
you,
getters,
you've got
doers.
you've got your Netflix show coming up and things like that.
Yeah.
But when they realize it and things like that, but I feel for the ones that are stuck in the middle. The ones that are stuck in the cage with the door open, at some point something will happen and it will knock them into action.
Yes.
But the ones that are comfortable, they'll go through their whole lives and nothing will really happen. And they'll miss out on so much. So the gift of no choice is like, I broke my neck. What are you going to do about it? I can't go back and fix it.
Right.
This coronavirus is here. What are we going to do about it? How are we going to learn from it, grow from it, really capitalize on this? All the countries coming together because we're interconnected
Right.
more than ever before. It's no longer, I don't think the world will ever be now where, we have a solution and we have a solution and let's fight about the best one. It'll be mankind has a
Yeah.
solution.
Well, because we're so globalized.
Yeah.
We don't realize how connected we all are, how we all affect each other globally
Yeah.
now. We're not individual little countries. We are globalized. We're all together in this whole thing. So it's kind of like,
and it's amazing and wonderful. But
yeah, I like it. I like being able to to know what's going on in the UK. And unfortunately, what happened in Italy, but that did teach everybody. Italy was like the what made everybody say, "Oh, dang, maybe we should have done something about this." When the virus, because what happened was the virus was spread so fast
Yeah.
that the medical care system couldn't sustain the amount of patients. They couldn't treat everybody. And then after seeing those pictures, I don't know if you read any articles, but I've seen the pictures of like people from Italy like slumped over their freaking like desk. They're like, I'm so exhausted from this freaking. They're like passed out, like, and they're more susceptible to getting the virus, you know. And it's like they're putting themselves. And that's why they say testing isn't that great, because if you're going to testing facilities, you're probably going to run across people who might actually have the virus. Then you get it from them. So it's better just to stay away from everything. Wash your hands like a million times a day, because really it's how you get it. You put the germs into your mucus places,
And,
your mouth and your eyes.
two things are happening simultaneously. We're learning about how viruses work.
Yes.
You know,
we're always learning that.
So the testing and all that is about, what is this virus? How is it working? Can we even have immunity towards it? And how does these things spread for future ones? Because this isn't going to be the last one.
No.
China have stopped eating raw animals, apparently. That's been banned. So kind of good.
Yeah.
So
raw animals with eating raw.
It's like we got cats. I got a cat here on the side. If a cat gets flu, I cannot catch it.
No.
Yet. But what if one day that does jump? So you've got, on one hand, you've got the learning. That's what they're testing for. How can we learn from this? On the other hand, how do we not allow it to run wild? How do we save people as much as possible, along with the services that are already stretched? Yeah. I don't think any health service in the world has got extra capacity.
Here's what I'm thinking. Don't you think we should start having, after this virus happened, this is one of my thoughts I want to interject. Why don't we start preparing, why don't we have extra things on, and like police equipment, like extra masks, extra things on and storage, just in case something like this happens again. And then also have, and start employing more medical people, and have them kind of like us. They kept, give them an incentive to do it. Say, hey, can you train yourself for these emergencies only, like a viral emergency or something like this? And they have people on the back burner, like in the Army or the National Guard. They can train extra medical care people and try and have it incentivize having people come in as medical for the Army or something, and have those on storage. And also all the big like warehouses full of supplies, because the Army, I was in the Army, they have warehouses full of garbage. They don't even need like batteries and shit that go.
You're bang on. You're totally on.
I think that they should do that. This is what that can teach us, like for the future. Like, okay, when something like this hits, okay, cool, but what are we going to do about it in the future? Because we don't want and what if the next virus is more deadly and it can kill anyone? Kids.
See the difference with this one and H1N1, which was, I think, is swine flu, the more common name for it.
Yeah.
And I'm not an expert on viruses, so please don't
neither am I.
think that this is purely what I picked up. And but that one in America spread to 60 million, and apparently it killed 12,000.
Yeah.
This one, if it goes to 60 million, and that was killing 0.02%. This one will kill up to 3%, because even the Western medicine is not able to lower that percentage at the moment.
Oh, that's what it is. So this is a little more deadly than the last.
A little more deadly. It's going to kill about 20 times the amount of people if that many people get infected. That's why it's.
That's why we're trying to slow it. Yeah.
Bill Gates, we got to slow it down till the vaccines come on board, until until we learn how to fight it as well. Because we've now learned that apparently ibuprofen, which is it takes down swelling. Apparently that doesn't help it. That actually hinders the repairing of it.
Oh, so don't take
we're
any.
We're learning that. So all of these people are learning exactly how to treat and what to do. And Bill Gates in 2015 done a TED talk, and I highly recommend anybody. And he said that he comes out and says the next thing that's going to kill us is not going to be missiles and nuclear weapons. It's going to be this. And he put up a picture of the flu virus. And he was talking then about Ebola and the way they managed to stop it in Africa.
Yeah.
But he said exactly what you just said. And you're more wiser than you realize. I'm sure of it, Danette. But he said, what we need, we just spent.
Thank you. I'll take that as a great compliment.
It's absolutely. Well, you just said what he said. And he said, we spend 3 trillion protecting us from another country's missiles and nuclear war. The next virus is going to cost the economy 3 to 4 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not ready for it. We're not ready in any way because everybody thinks we can isolate them. And he said we need 3 things. He said we need a team ready to go at the first sign of it happening. That team can isolate, they know what to do, they know what to learn from it, and they know how to heal or treat the patients now straight away. It also needs to be in connection with NATO, because NATO and the army and all are brilliant for their logistics and getting people in and out quick.
There we go.
So if every country signed up to it and said, look, if we have an outbreak, we will allow NATO and this team to come in. And that team can surround the area. They can, nothing can do it like an army. And I'm not
Right.
talking about America or us. I'm talking about NATO.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I think it's in the interest. And I think by the end of this year, NATO will be sitting down and going, we need to put some money into this and
Oh, yeah.
think of a way to stop this at the Wahoon level rather than. So I think there'll be something positive. This ain't going to wipe out mankind, but the next one might have done if this didn't happen.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying. That's a good point you're making. I always feel like humanity, we progress by learning from our mistakes, as we do in any other process. Humanity is a process, just like any other, like living is a process, how of all, if you think about it from evolutionary perspective, like, I'm not talking about evolutionary, like the past, how we evolved. I'm talking like evolving as a person, and you're spiritually, mentally, physically, all those things. I believe we should be evolving as a species, but I don't think a lot of people feel that way. They don't think about they don't, like you said, the part of the population doesn't think about growing or focusing on like the things, but really, as a species, we're going to need to evolve to survive. So, and that means, so if we pay attention to what we're learning from these experiences, and we're smart and we're wise, we're going to learn from our mistakes, carry on, and we're going to set things up for the future, so we don't have these types of pandemics. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't take it very seriously at first. I was like, oh, this is nothing,
I think many people
why?
did.
I think it's because we're all in denial. We're like, oh no, this is probably gonna be fine. We don't want to have to, we're hoping that it's nothing serious.
Yeah.
And then your hope goes ahead of you. And then that's how I do. I'm like, oh, I just hope. Like, it's kind of foolish, but it's kind of like what I do because I can't handle like the idea of people dying or something in my psyche. So I'm like, no, this is probably nothing. We're going to be fine. This coronavirus, is they never a beer? How seriously can it be? Let's be some lime in that bitch. Let's guzzle it. Like, I didn't even think. But then after a while, I go, wait a minute, this is pretty serious. After I heard about Italy, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And I started informing myself, and immediately I just changed. I was like, okay. Then I went online. I go, okay, everybody, let's take this seriously. I was an idiot too. This is serious. Just self-isolate. If you can, self-isolate's the best, but or socially distance yourself. Which I do more social distancing because I have to work, and I use bleach in my car, my Uber. I bleach everything. Every time someone gets in the car, Jesus Christ, every time someone gets in the car, I bleach everything. So I bleach. My pop screen is I'm not set up properly. Sorry.
That's okay.
Because I was on the other side, it set up, and I said, no, I'm gonna get some light on my face because we talked about we're gonna be videoing. There's no video. I don't have to use it.
And I'm looking like a magenta.
You look good today.
Or something.
No, you don't. You look good. Honestly, you got some light on your forehead. I can see a glare. Something's shining on you. So it looks good. So that's all I mean. It's like, I think, we just had to we have to be informing each other, encouraging each other to do the right thing. And even when I was doing the wrong thing, I realized I was doing the wrong thing. I apologize and move forward because we're going to make mistakes, right? I made mistakes. So I do bleach my car and I do wash my hands. I mean, I do bleach. I mean, literally, it smells like bleach in my car. I seen
your video the other day. And
oh, you saw it?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, makes perfect
sense. And I literally
sense.
do that. And it just feels like I know bleach kills 99.9% of everything. And it may be overkill and it's a little strong smelling, but I think it's better than not doing anything. If I want to work, I need to be responsible. And then part of me is like, no, I make sure I do it. Like, I get lazy. Like, no, it's bleached enough. I'm like, nope. After every passenger, I force myself, like, do the right thing. So I'm like, okay, spray the whole shit. My hands, the steering wheel, the whole thing, because it's in the ceiling. Because then, the speckles can get, and no one's gonna touch the ceiling, but you never know.
We're doing here. Virtually every carer is coming down through the house and wiping stuff off and everything like that. We're really doing it, and
So
it just makes sense. The
yeah.
thing that made me take it seriously early on, because I was in the beginning of January, I was saying when they closed Wuhan down, which is the original epicenter of it, when a town of, I say a town, when a city of 7, 8 million people in China, of all places, close the whole place down, risking probably 50% of the businesses. And when they build a hospital in 3 days, something's going on.
That's what
And
you were smart.
and that's when I was like, okay, something's going on. What if that was here? And then it's now here within.
Right.
And it's the growth of it. And there was a video that just freaked me out, to be quite honest, on YouTube, and it's shown the growth after 40 days of swine flu. After 40 days, swine flu went to something like 6,000, and that eventually infected 22 million or something.
Oh, geez. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Whereas the other one, this one, coronavirus, after 40 days infected 60,000. So it's 10 times bigger.
Okay, sorry, my cat is distracting me.
That's,
So no,
I've got
it's 10
exactly the same
times bigger.
thing.
I'm hearing you, but I'm also like, my cat's gonna like mess me up. She's gonna knock over my mic or something. Tabby, can I come up there? If I get her up here, I can bring her around and then put her on my lap. Come on, Tabby, go around.
But
You're
while
trying to
you're
go
doing
along?
that, I can put my cat on the screen there.
Okay, here. Oh, look. My cat's right here. She's gonna come on the screen. How cute. So it's kind of like a Tabby calico type. I got
Yeah.
my Tabby. She's a Tabby.
The cat podcast.
Yes. I'm gonna do a show about my cats, kind of, sort of.
I
But
know, yeah,
how
you
cute
said
is she?
that.
How old is she?
She's about 9.
Yeah, she's about
She-
the same age as my cat will be 8. My older cat. Yeah.
She's one of a sister. And I
Oh.
had Bounty, which is a little white Westie. He passed away last year. And her sister passed away last year from cat flu. But
Oh.
I'd never actually seen her. She spent all her time in the other half of the house. But now she will not leave my side. She's here
Oh.
all day, she's there, and all night she's on my legs. But I cannot touch her because I come out in rashes when I touch her. But
Oh.
she's just like there all the time.
So cute.
And I, I want to go back to what you said about a book. We have too much toothpaste.
We
We
have
have
too much.
too much choice of
Yes, too many
toothpaste.
choices of toothpaste
Have
brands.
you ever tried to pick toothpaste in the supermarket?
Um.
It paralyzes me. I can't. It's a well, it's I've almost got to fill out a form before I go there, just in case I end up 4 hours. Don't ever send a guy in a supermarket to go and pick the best of something,
No.
because there's so much choice there now. I get to the toothpaste aisle and I'm like, okay, I want toothpaste. Okay. Do you want it whitening? Okay. Do you want it fresh breath? Do you want it colored? Do you want it? Oh, and what kind of pot do you want it? It's like I end up walking away, not even buying it.
You're like, forget it. Too
Forget it. I
aggravating.
can't do this. And I've done this shopping online so many times of an evening, and I'm now on my iPad going through it. And I've got
So
like 20 minutes and I just cancel it because I'm like, well, I'm done now. I cannot
yeah.
even pick bread anymore.
No, I
And
know.
and you're bang on. It was in that book that it said the maximum choice is between 5 and 6. Anything more than that, we don't feel confident that we've made the right decision.
Yes, you think we were missing out. Oh,
Yeah.
I might have picked the wrong
I
one, and it could be a better
exactly
one out
that.
there. That's exactly what I've been reading about
And
lately.
it's like everything, health insurance, shoes, toothpaste, everything.
Yeah, I know. Real quick,
Decide
if you
what
hear me
we
talking
want
about my
before we
cat,
go.
Steve and I were showing each other our cats. For the listeners on the list on the audio, we're doing a Zoom while we're doing the audio here. So if you hear us talking about our scenery and background, we can see each other as well. So when I have a guest on, I always do some kind of video with it because it's makes so we can see each other. If you're not going to be sitting next to me, or if you're sitting next to me, I want to see the people. I can do a video. It's more interesting than just my old. Imagine if I was just doing a solo one, just me with a microphone like this. Ooh, like why? But if I have guests, it's like better. So I want to let them know. And then Stephen was also talking about like his book, and I'm going to bring back around, and we were talking about another book, and he's going to. So you're thinking about that for your title of your second book because you want to plug your first one.
Well, I haven't quite decided on the title of this book yet, the big one I wrote,
Or
writing.
do you want to plug your
The-
first book right now? Talk
Well,
about it.
well, it's I don't know whether I said
No?
about the
Okay.
second book. It's a matter of I don't know what I'm going to call this first book. It could be
Okay.
either A Gift of No Choice or Choosing Nothing. But it's really about my life and what I've learned and how I've learned to be at peace and joyful, even though I'm paralyzed, even though I've got all my problems and all that. You can be faced with the most horrendous life and you can still choose joy in that moment.
This is where we're going to bleed in. It's a perfect segue in, but I want to
Yeah.
clarify something before we segue into what I want to talk to you about today. So you don't have a book, or you do have a book out?
I'm writing it.
Okay, so you never had, no, there's not one book out yet.
No.
Okay.
Well,
I thought you had a book out.
I have done 2 books, but they're kind of smaller books, and they're not really about my life. This is the big book that I'm writing
Oh,
about my
okay. So
life.
the other ones are, they're just like little, like, what do you call it? Would you
Yeah,
call them
I've got
essays
one that
or?
is like a free one, and one that's like $5 on Amazon or something. But that's
So
a
it's not,
success in 5 steps or something. But
yeah,
this
something
is
like
the
that. I
big
thought
my
you,
life, and
this is actual book that you're the real
this is
one
a
about your
book.
life.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then Stephen does a podcast I love, and I listen to every single episode, I think, at this point. You have 20 episodes. Can you please say the name of it?
Living deeper lives.
Living Deeper Lives. And isn't there another part of it?
Yeah, stillness in the storms.
Stillness in the, that's it. That's the Stillness in the Storms.
Stillness in the storms. Yeah, it's kind of 2 parts. It's about thinking deeper and going deeper in the best parts of being human.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with being human, we've developed complex feelings,
Yes.
and so many of us deny them.
Yes.
And this is what the podcast is about. Embrace them, embrace your full
Mhm.
humanness. You know,
Yeah.
you don't want to get to the end of your life, and if there is somebody there, say, oh, by the way, there was a whole new side of that record that you were playing. Because whether it's feelings that we deem positive or negative, the deeper we go, the higher we go.
That's right.
So it's expanding both ways, your awareness. And then the other thing is just finding a little stillness. You know, we're busier than ever. We have more notifications than ever. We're bombarded with everything like
Yeah.
toothpaste choice.
Oh, toothpaste choice. By the way, I want to tell you mine. Mine's real simple because I like charcoal. So there's only 3 types of charcoal toothpaste. And I really like it because it really makes you feel real clean once you use it
I
once.
know, it smooths them, doesn't it, as
It's
well?
so good and whitens them so good. So I just do the charcoal toothpaste it's called Hello.
Yeah.
And I use one with fluoride for my kids because we have to have the fluoride one. So yeah, I just want to plug that. I love that toothpaste. That should be a sponsor.
And can I
So
give
we're
a life
sponsored by Hello Toothpaste.
can I give a life hack now?
Sure.
You have to have mouthwash before you do your teeth with the toothpaste.
Really?
Yes, I'll tell you why. The
Why?
actual fluoride in the mouthwash is very little. So the idea is we soften everything up in our mouths. Now, this is a dentist told me this. And also my daughter clarified it. My daughter is just finished training being a dental nurse. And she said, yes, it's correct. That's what we recommend. So you rinse your mouth and all that beforehand. Then you do it with toothpaste. And then you do not have a warm drink for about 10, 15 minutes because the toothpaste has to sit on your teeth. You do not rinse your mouth out. You just
Oh,
spit. Yeah.
I'll
It's the
try that then.
fluoride that protects your teeth.
Because here's what I do. Want to know my dental stuff I do? Here's what I do, Steve. I floss like after every meal, not just before I'm brushing. I brush twice a day. But I floss like was how many times I have a meal, right? And then so I floss, and then I will brush, and I do the up and down brushing between because I have
Yeah.
like the electric toothbrush, and then I do a Listerine to like an extra strong Listerine to kill all the bacteria, and then I do a whitening mouthwash that sits on my teeth to
I
whiten
know
it.
your pearly whites are just like they're shining right my eye
They
right now.
just like bling, they're blinding you, but they're not too unnaturally white. They're just right.
No.
Because I don't want to go unnatural. And you can use this. So people know out there, you don't have to go get your teeth whitened. You just got to do
I
good
know.
hygiene
Yeah.
every day. Use the charcoal toothpaste; it'll help whiten it. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try. So what I can do then, I can floss, then I can mouthwash, and then I can brush. Then I have to put my last stuff has to stay on my teeth too. So how would I do
So
that?
you're probably okay with it. you're leaving something on your teeth with fluoride. But in general,
Okay, so then
people,
that's floor. Oh, because so I can do the, my mouthwash is the last thing that I do because it has all that stuff in it. It has a whitener, has a strengthener for your teeth, has like strengthens your
but it
enamel
doesn't
and all that
have
stuff.
nothing compared to what toothpaste has. That's the problem.
So I will let my toothpaste sit on a little longer.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
I'll let them marinate for like 5-10 minutes.
And then go and rinse your mouth. Perfect.
And then yeah, because I mean, sometimes I do a long time brushing if I like fall asleep without brushing my teeth. And I wake up in the morning, oh God, I'm like, forever. I'm like a sleep
Bonus.
neurotic.
What a bonus your podcast is. You come here and we like life hacks on everything.
Life hacks, toothpaste, freaking, you're teaching me stuff. He said I was as smart as like Steve Jobs. I'm like, or is that what he said? Who's the
Bill
person?
Gates.
Bill Gates. Okay, one or the other. They're brilliant. Maybe I'll be a billionaire too one day.
Exactly.
Yeah, think like a billionaire.
The wisdom.
And when I am,
I
and
love
then my
seeing your
network.
cat pop up on your shoulders.
She hasn't yet. She's back there. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to put a link below your podcast to your YouTube channel or your Facebook where you put this video.
Oh yeah,
So
I will do that.
anybody listening to your podcast can pop over to there.
Oh yeah, for sure. They can see the cats and stuff, and you and me.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to break
okay,
out into a song now?
let's do it.
No, let's not do
We'll
it.
get in trouble because I don't have the rights to any songs.
They wouldn't recognize the song if I was singing it, so you'll be okay.
Oh, I'm not, you know what? I used to think I was a good singer, but I was lying to myself. No, because people like my singing, but they just like me. You know, because they like my personality. So some songs I can kind of nail because I have a very limited range. I can sing Dido like nobody's business. You know, Dido, she's from the UK.
Yeah, I love Dido. Yeah.
I like Dido, White Flag.
Yeah.
There will be no white flag above my door. 'Cause I'm in love. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop.
That's a good album. That's a good album.
I love that whole album. I listen to it over and over.
I done so much
Like This Land Is
karaoke with my
Mine.
daughter. My daughter can sing and she's
Oh, does
brilliant
she?
singer. And we
How
do
old is your daughter?
karaoke in the 13. She's 23 now.
She's 23
And
now.
and I haven't done it for quite a while because we changed the Xbox into something else.
Oh, so you do it from home or you go out to a
Yeah.
bar?
Oh, I will go out and bar and do it now because I'm just not worried. I have realized if I sing in a bar, I will not destroy the planet. I've just realized that.
Your singing won't destroy, shit won't start falling down.
No, it's okay. But
so I did listen to some of your podcasts, and there's a couple of them. The last two, I listened to them again today. I prepare because last time I listened to them, I prepared, and I like listening to them because they're always. First of all, Steven's got a very just like really, I don't know what to say, calming voice on his podcast, and also kind of just like you make a lot of sense to me. Like it resonates. Like it just makes like total sense. I'm thinking about all the things you were talking about, and especially this one about happiness. The last one you did about happiness. And I have some questions. I'm like, okay, because I think what you're saying kind of blends or bleeds into, okay, so basically Stephen says happiness is not, it's not the excitement we think, okay, there's a line in the middle, right? You're saying, and happiness is not all those pleasurable things. We all seek pleasure, like heathenism. We're like, oh, it's a pleasure of life is not happiness. And either is and happiness is not the lack of those dark moments that happen, like all those could be a disease, or you're talking about the different examples you use. It's really in the middle when you're in the moment, when you're calm, when you're just like, I'm content. I'm content with the now being what it is. And that's the whole practice, isn't it? Happiness to me is like kind of like saying, I accept what is right now, because you know it's going to change. It's not constant. So if you kind of like hang on to those, I used to hang on to the good moments too much. And I'd be like, oh, I don't want this to end. Like speaking of singing in a bar, before I started really doing comedy, I had a really good night of singing. And I made everyone laugh. And for a whole hour, I was just doing parodies and stuff. And we're just having a glass. And I go, I never want that night to end. And then when I try to do it another one after that, it didn't measure up. Because once you get those ultimate pleasure moments, you can't relive them. That's when I started realizing you can't hold on to them. You have to let them go. Just like you let go if you bang your knee and the pain goes away. You let that go. Everything has to be let go of and say the now, because the now is really just like being content with being where you are. Even like you said, you will adjust. To say you always have constant pain, you're going to adjust to that state of being in constant pain. It's going to feel like you're normal. So it's like basically the normal, just like the absence of those things. Those things are great, but they are not happiness. Happiness is just the contentment, because nothing makes you happier than feeling okay with everything and content. Am I on the nail with that, or on the head, or would you say?
Yeah, you've nailed it. I don't need to say anything.
You don't need to say anything.
The problem is we shift our happiness,
Yeah.
And we go, and like you say, we have a great night out, and we've all done that at the age of 16, 18 or something. And we go out with
Yeah.
our mates, and we're not expecting a good night, and it just goes amazing. And we
Yes.
meet up with mates and everything like that. And then at the end of the night, we say, we're going to have to go and do that again. That was so good.
Yeah.
40 years later, you still haven't managed it, but
It's like
you've
the
had
first hit of
other nights.
heroin. You can't get it back.
Well, exactly. And there's so many things like concerts and everything like that. Now, then, those things are brilliant. Those things are excitement. Those things are the pleasures in life. You know, the orgasms, the great
Yeah.
relationships, the start of relationships and all that, that puppy love, that,
Yeah. That's snuggling in bed, like you said,
yeah, but
cuddling in bed. Yeah.
they're pleasant, amazing things. The problem is we think they're happiness. So
Right.
therefore we try to grab hold of them and keep hold of them.
Yeah.
No,
That's what I was
treat
doing.
them as something amazing. You know, right down to you're sitting there and you take a deep breath, and in this moment, everything is calm. Everything is as it is. You can't do anything about it. So there's
Right.
no point in fighting it. There's no point in trying to let it go, because if I tell you to let something go, that's not easy.
Trying doesn't work.
No.
They say, if I'm reading all the stuff I read in the world, and if you listen to Ellen Watts, trying is the dumbest thing you can ever do.
Yeah.
Because then you're concerned about the outcome, and you're only chasing that outcome, and you're not in the moment enjoying the process.
Yeah.
That's why trying sucks. So that's why I don't try to try anymore. I'm like calm, like, nope, I'm gonna enjoy the process. When I start seeing how things piece together like a puzzle, I'll enjoy that moment and move on. Won't even worry about trying to get it back, and just keep working and keep pushing. And then, I don't care about an outcome anymore, because if I focus on the outcome, I'm trying, and then I'm not focused and not having fun. Because
Yeah.
trying is like, it's like you have a hammer and you're nailing it. You're trying to pound and crack open a rock, and just and you're trying so
Yeah.
hard. And what's the outcome going to get you anyway? Maybe you will get something out of it, but you didn't enjoy it, because the whole time you're focused on like, you're
Yeah.
not like just going,
You're trying to avoid the situation.
yeah,
It's like
yes,
loneliness
take the
is
fun out of it.
something that everybody knows about. You know, and what
What
does
was that?
loneliness? Everybody
Oh,
knows about it.
loneliness. Oh God, yeah,
And what does that look like now? Loneliness looks like 10 o'clock at night, you're in bed, you kind of realize you're alone, and you pick up your phone and you see who's online on Facebook. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? And you might message 4 or 5 people, see, oh, none
yeah,
of them even read it. You know, that's what loneliness. But we're trying to solve the loneliness,
yeah.
and we're trying to push it away. We're trying to say that that's not me. That's what I don't like. Just accept the loneliness. Hey, I'm lonely. I'm feeling loneliness, and that's okay. You don't have to solve it.
No, it's not going to be there
Because you
forever.
can solve it.
That goes in line with your happiness thing. It's not going to be
Yeah,
there forever.
you can solve it. So when you're with someone,
Yeah, and it's impossible to solve it,
you
right?
know, me and you go out for a meal tonight, and we're enjoying it. We don't sit there and go, "Hey, I'm not lonely."
Yeah,
We enjoy the meal. We enjoy the
right. Enjoy
pleasantness of being
company.
together. So loneliness is itself something that cannot ever be solved.
No.
You know, you're never not lonely. You're just either lonely. And then once you realize that, you're okay with it. So let me accept for this moment that I'm feeling a bit lonely tonight. And that's okay. And then the ego stops fighting it, stops pushing it away. Because the more you push it away, the bigger and bigger it becomes. And I just don't buy this let it go. Bloody Disney.
Yeah, let it go, let it
The let
go.
it go, let it go. And
Because if letting it go means it's an active process. If you have to let it
you
go
got
and
to
work
push
at it, then it's not
something.
let. So what do you say instead of letting go? Would you say just allow it, right?
Just accept it. It
Just
is what it
accept.
is.
Acceptance is the hugest thing. That's the
If
thing. I think acceptance is happiness,
if
because you
I tell
accept
you
the
to
now.
think of
Here it
pink
is.
mice, if I tell you to think of pink mice flying through the air, and if I tell you to let that go, get rid of it, you've got to bring it to your attention to see if it's gone.
Yeah, right.
It's like you
Makes
put
sense.
something in a cupboard, and then you close the door, and then you've got to open the cupboard to see if it's still there. Just let it
Ah,
go.
that's why I was so miserable about trying to let things go.
Yeah,
Because it keeps you thinking about the thing you need to let go of.
yeah.
And then you're
You've got to,
miserable. I can't
you've
get out of this shit.
yeah, you've got to bring it back to your mind.
Get it now. God, I didn't, because now I don't,
Have you let go of those pink mice yet?
no, I don't even
No,
think
because
about
they're
them.
back again now.
Oh, now they're,
But
yes,
you
yes.
accepted them.
Oh, that's cool. You just said, did you think about, yeah, they're gone. And some people are asking how you do it. Yes, exactly. If you just don't think about, okay. So basically allowing them when you do think about those things, allow them to come through and just don't try to grab it, touch it, just allow it to be there, accept this is what I'm feeling right now. Right.
Yeah.
And I don't, that's true too, because I do get lonely, but it doesn't bother me as much anymore because I'm not trying to let it go, the loneliness feeling, or I'm not trying to
Yeah.
chase anything happy. I'm just saying, okay, some nights it's like this. But I think it's getting fewer and farther between as I accept my life, accept my situation. The more acceptance I have with myself and how I'm living, and the more gratitude I have. And of course, gratitude's always nice to be
Yeah.
grateful for what you have. If you can remember to be grateful, but don't beat yourself up if you can't. But I
Yeah.
mean, but grateful is like if you can feel it in the moments. They're little tiny little moments of gratitude. Those are the ones that will help you. So you don't have to focus on it. Gratitude just comes in. You say, "Oh, thank you," and you feel it, and then you release it. Because I used to try to trace my gratitude too. No, I keep being grateful, and it's stupid too. Because I'm not
Yeah.
enjoying. I'm not grateful. What am I grateful for? Chasing my gratitude. I mean, after a while, that's all you're going to be
Exactly.
doing.
Yeah.
That's the action your mind's taking. So I'm like, okay, I rather just allow it all to be. And then I had a note here I was going to say, so I think we already covered that part. And then it also bleeds into your thoughts podcast too. And that's what we're kind of doing the thoughts thing too. We're not our thoughts. I
Yeah.
know you had that one. And I always love people who say we're not our thoughts. It's like, because when you meditate or whatever, you hear all these thoughts, you start meditating, you start realizing these thoughts aren't me, they're just there. And then you can either grab onto them or not. And a lot of times you get lost in them for a second. And that's what meditation does. It gets you aware, self-aware, aware not only of who you are, what you're feeling in the moment, but also what is yours, what's not yours. What's yours is that consciousness behind it all. What's not yours is all those things that float around and invade it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say invade it, but they kind of get in the way or block it. Because consciousness is just like you. And that's like the same thing kind of going in line with your happiness thing, where you're just you're in that space, that middle place. And that's what we are conscious, as Rupert Spira would say, or Dr. Wayne Dyer say, we are a spiritual being with a human experience
Yeah.
kind of thing. And the human experience is having a mind with thoughts, a brain, thoughts, an environment, a body, all these things that the body does kind of, about the body having its place too. And, so kind of like giving it all a time, or allowing yourself to be whatever that is. And then like, I think the thoughts, thoughts, like you had a really good thing about thoughts in your podcast. I think you said something like, I'm trying to recall it. If you have a thought, say, here's how you can prove it. You have a thought, think about something. Now, is that thought really, if you're trying to remember that thought, you're not gonna be able to remember that thought. So therefore that thought does not stay with you all the time, then it's not you. And what
Yeah.
stays with you all the time is that whatever that is that's staying with you all the time, that's you. And we can't explain what that is that stays with us all the time. Everyone has that with you all the time stuff, that consciousness. And then there's the thoughts. And if you can, whatever you are always remains, whatever is you, whatever is there always is you. And everything that just comes fleeting by is not really you. Is that what we're leaning into?
Yeah. When a thought arises in your head, who's aware of that thought?
Yeah. You are.
Yeah. So does that awareness ever go away?
No.
It's always there, but our awareness of it goes away.
Yes.
We're always aware of our thoughts, but we're not
Ah.
we're not able to step out. If you stub your toe, and even the best meditator in the world, if they stub their toe on the bed in the morning and they're going ouch, they're not aware of a thought. They're in that pain.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly they're not part of the awareness.
No.
Awareness takes work to step out and go, ah, there's a thought. Now, it doesn't mean to say you disown them or you don't go with them or it just means you can choose to go with them or not.
Yes.
And you
That
do
makes
that
sense.
anyway, because the subconscious mind, it's not your friend. It's
No.
not like one of your mates that you choose because they think the same as you and they got the same enemies and the same friends. Your subconscious mind is a tool to keep you alive, and it will just give you loads and loads of different thoughts to
Yes. That committee you were saying.
yeah, and it will give you all these thoughts and plan the situation ahead to what might happen to keep you alive, to make you make
Yeah.
decisions. So we're driving down the road and we think, oh, what would it be like if I drove down over that bank? Now, then it doesn't mean you're suicidal and you're going to drive down over the bank.
Right.
It's a subconscious mind going, hey, that could happen, be aware. But
Yes.
in order for it to happen, it has to bring up the scenario.
Yeah.
you know, and it has to make that little mini story in your head, that narrator.
Right.
So, but we don't, and we know we don't choose to do it because not everybody drives off the bank, and
No.
not everybody runs over people, or not everybody goes and does some of the things. You know, the subconscious mind has very little morals. It doesn't really care about anybody. It doesn't even care about you. If it cared about you, it would go, do you know what? Don't light up that fag. You know, or cigarette in America. Innit? Don't light up that cigarette, or don't have that drink, or don't have that great big Chinese.
Don't let
It,
up that fag. Fag means something different in America.
yeah, yeah, that's right. It's a cigarette. Cigarette.
But I knew what you meant.
I think we're integrated enough now that most people know
Yeah,
I did not
I know.
literally
Well, they
mean
know
lighting
that.
someone.
But I think,
Um,
I know they didn't, you're not, because the way you said it too. You didn't say
yeah, but
that
we
faggot.
know it's bad for us. We know that, but will almost certainly not help our health. But our subconscious mind says, it'll be all right, just one. It'll be
Yeah.
okay. It lowers your blood pressure. It does all this. No,
So
it does
cool.
all of that opposite.
Yes.
However, it does it. So it doesn't care about us. But what
No.
it does care about, it cares about habits
Yeah.
and getting things right. So it's like a little child.
Yeah.
So you imagine a 4-year-old child in your house giving you teddies and all his toys. Everyone that you pay attention to, he'll give you more of them. Everyone you go with.
Yeah.
The
That's
ones
the
that,
universe law of attraction. Yeah.
yeah, the ones you ignore and that he's trying to give you and you're just ignoring, he won't give you them anymore. So there's the thing with positive and negative thinking.
Ah.
Everybody thinks that I want to change negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Impossible. A thought is
Yeah.
already a thought. You
Yes.
can't change a thought. You know, if I think of a football, I cannot change that thought into something else. It's a new thought.
Yeah.
So what we do is we become aware of these thoughts coming into our minds, and we choose whether or not to give them weight. So we tend to, how many times have you seen a nice dress or a nice jumper or a haircut on somebody? And you think, oh, I'm going to go and get that haircut. I'm going to go and get this. And then suddenly, once you've done it, you see everybody with it, or the color
Yeah.
car. It's because you've told your subconscious mind that that's now important to you. So
Ah.
it'll keep coming up with that thing.
So
So
the more you
that's
engage in thoughts about people too, they appear in your life or
the,
contact you, right?
the
Because you're thinking
more
about
you thank it for a positive thought, the more you go, I like that thought. And the more emotion you can put behind the liking the thought, the more it'll give you it. So, like the child, hey,
it. More feeling, yeah.
here's my blue teddy. Oh, I love blue. Thank you. That makes me really happy. He'll go around the house finding all blue teddies. And before you know it, you're full up with blue teddies
Yeah.
or toilet rolls.
Rolls.
Just to keep it topical. But that is as simple as what it is. And
Yeah.
meditation is not about getting rid of thoughts. It's about being aware of the thoughts and the
Yeah.
true self just, I'm aware of them.
And it helps us figure out like what's us, what's not us too. Like you were saying, I like
Yeah.
that concept. You know, you are the a constant awareness of things. You're not the things that you're aware of,
You
right?
can be the things, but you cannot
You,
be the thoughts because they disappear and you
I
cannot
mean,
remember
yeah, you can be a thing, you can be a person, right?
them.
You
Yeah.
can be physical. But I mean, I'm saying like what you're saying is you are that awareness that's aware of you can be you are like you're aware of things, but you're not those thoughts that you're aware of.
Yeah.
They're just like you just know that they're there and you can choose. And you know, I think we all struggle with it. It depends on our moods and what we choose, and like you know, and some if our emotions get stirred up through some thoughts, then we're going to continue down that pattern because our emotions are stirred up and we're feeling it. That's why I think the feelings are are important to focus on, like you're saying, because the more you have those feelings, the more you're going to bring more of those thoughts. So if your feelings coincide with your positive thoughts and you bring the positive feelings, that's when that big momentum happens. You know, if you can keep it going, but we never really can keep it going because life doesn't work like that. We can always be on a positive flow, you know, because the other negative things are there too. And they're gonna want their attention too. Like, hey, what about me? And you're gonna be like, oh, okay, hey. And sometimes like me when I'm dealing with trauma, we talked about my last episode with you, part one, when I was dealing with trauma, it's different. Your thoughts will loop, go
Yeah.
on trauma loop. So you have to really be mindful of your thoughts. It takes a little bit longer time for someone like myself to heal my thoughts because of the fact that a lot of them were, a lot of that, I didn't have awareness, and I would get on those emotional spins from the trauma and all that, and the emotions were involved, and then the feelings are there, and then you just have to heal. That's when the healing comes in for me. I have to heal all this shit. Because I like that we talked last time, talking to that little girl nicely when she arrives or she shows up. And she showed up like probably like that was the last time she showed up. I talked to you last time. And basically you said something really brilliant. I'm like, oh, I'll just remember to stay kind to her and treat her like she is me. So just go down to her level wherever she wants to go and say, tell me about this. I know you were just trying to help me then. And I know what's really getting into it, and really be kind to that. Because the kindness comes from within. You can be kind to yourself like that, then you can put that upon anyone else. You could be kind to a visitor that's one of your thoughts or one of your committee that you thought was like not going to come back, like, oh, great. Well, when they come back, that's the thing. When we can do that, we can do that with others. That's why I'm finding myself truly getting into more of a real state of compassion, and compassion takes awareness. It takes slowing down, and it takes knowing you. Because if you can't help you, because you're angry, really, if you're getting angry, I think a lot of people say this, when you're angry or you're upset, you're really kind of, some part of you is off. And then you're projecting that onto others. That's just how human beings work. But we don't know we're doing it. You think this should be common knowledge and taught in schools? I think should be teaching all you're talking and I'm talking to people so they can be happy, or at least understand it. But the culture just doesn't want to go to this. They're like, oh, it sounds so airy fairy princessy. It sounds so hokey pokey. It sounds so crystal rubbing, spiritual, ew, kind of thing. And I'm like, well, okay, well, why don't you fucking try it? Before you knock it. Oh, that's just too soft. People don't understand vulnerability takes strength.
If you ask most people what they want,
they're stupid. I'm sorry.
That's
should I cut that out? No, I shouldn't.
No,
I shouldn't say that.
No, it's absolutely fine.
But I think that sometimes people just are ignorant. That's stupid. Ignorance is different.
Ignorant is a perfect word. And although
they're not
just
aware
the same
of it.
as ego.
They're not aware, they don't know, right? That's ignorance.
Yeah.
Aware, yeah.
I'm ignorant to rocket
Me too.
science. I'm ignorant to how my kidneys work. Ignorant is not an insult. It just means you don't know.
You just don't know some shit.
No. And nobody
sorry, I had to say it like that.
Nobody is not ignorant about many things.
We're all ignorant.
But there's something I wanted to go back to, and I'm just thinking.
Oh, I'm sorry, please.
With feelings and thoughts, and you said about a thought that goes around and around, really, just like if you're listening and you sit next to a river and you listen to a river, we often think that every sound is the same as the one before. They're never the same. You never have the same thought again. It feels like a loop because it becomes familiar. And we find comfort in familiarity.
Yes.
We find it's why a victim or somebody that uses drugs as an escape, or someone that uses music, or someone that uses their money and power, we become addicted to the comfort of knowing what comes next. And we do that from an early age. That's why children, you sit there and watch the same cartoon 4 million times and you're like,
I wonder why.
Can we put the next episode on? No. Now then, that child's not been awkward. That child's frightened of what might happen.
Yeah,
because they know what happens in the current cartoon.
That's what it is. You make me laugh because my younger son used to watch this Little People. It wasn't even like a real cartoon. It's like he comes to their Little People village. You get these like VHSs. This is how long ago this was. Yeah. And they had like Little People Village. And it was the same like 10-minute cartoons, 2 of them. He wanted to watch over and over and over. And I'd be like, and that song was Little People, will be sticking in my head. I'm like, God, this kid, he wants to watch it. But I'm like, okay. And I was like, I started feeling like I want to watch it with him too. I was like, oh, this is cool. I just started getting comfortable too with him.
See, as adults, we become brave. And you think about it, whenever you're feeling vulnerable, whenever you're feeling down, you go to a CD or a film that you've watched 100 times. You listen to 100 times.
That's right.
You never put on a new CD if you're feeling a little vulnerable.
Right.
Simple, because you and the subconscious mind likes to feel comfort. And that's what happiness is. It's comfort. It's not all the things above. It's comfort.
It's comfort.
And what's love?
Contentment.
Comfort, security, safety. You know, if I ask someone, or if someone said, how can I love you? I would say, keep me comfort. Keep me
Mm.
comfortable. Provide something for me that I don't feel uneasy in.
Yes.
And that's the same with our thoughts. We want thoughts we feel easy with. Now,
Yeah.
then, this is where, like you say, the law of attraction and the feelings. It doesn't matter the thought as long as it's familiar. The child, it doesn't
Oh,
matter if the film is a sad film, as long as the child knows what's going to happen. Take Bambi. It's not a nice film.
no,
It starts in the
the
most terrible
tragedy.
way, but the child knows it'll be okay. So in the place of a mind of a victim, and we're all victims
In
at
some
certain
regard. Yeah.
times in some regard, and we all fluctuate in life. Well, hopefully we all do. Otherwise, you're not living. You're not being a
Right.
full
You're just
human.
flatlined.
But we find comfort. So when we see someone, or when we feel like we're stuck in this loop of negative thoughts, it's because we're finding comfort in them.
Ah,
It's not the fact that it's a bad or a good thought. The subconscious mind doesn't have good or bad thoughts. It has
oh.
thoughts,
And then the ones you're familiar with, you're going to bring
and the
back
ones you're
because you're
familiar with.
comfortable. They bring you comfort. Oh, so that's why
Yeah.
my therapist always breaks up my thoughts and brings me to a new
That's why
place
it's so hard to
to
change.
get me comfortable. She's getting me comfortable with a new way of thinking.
You,
And it's
you,
like,
you're asking that child to put on a film that he doesn't know how it's going to end. And of course, a child's subconscious
yeah,
mind doesn't even know it's a film.
right.
They
Not yet.
feel it.
Not till they're about 5.
Can you remember when your children watched the first film? Not the first film, but the first time they watched a film, and the first time they cried, and it was like, oh, they've just taken on empathy for the first time. My daughter walked out of the front room, and she come out, and that crying that you do when it's the full body crying, the shoulders with every
Mm-hmm.
tear.
Yeah.
And we honestly thought that someone had died in the front room, or something had really badly happened, and was like, no, just take a breath, explain. And the dog died, and it was in the film, and she was about 9 or 10. But only 3 years before that, she looked at me and her mum, and we were on the sofa, and she looked at us and goes, "What's wrong with you?" And it's a sad film. We're crying. It's a film.
Oh,
So it's that comfort and taking on the feelings and all that.
yeah.
Children don't have that. The subconscious mind learns all these things as it goes.
Yeah. It kind of accumulates,
Yeah.
like builds up the residue and deposits of our life, our existence. We carry it with us.
Yeah. So if
That's
you
why we
want to
carry.
change,
Yeah.
if you want to change the way your thinking is, or the way you're feeling are, be comfortable with whatever
Yeah,
change that
getting
you're
out of your
living.
comfort zone and then becoming comfortable with what you weren't
Yeah.
comfortable with before. That's why getting out of the comfort zone is important for
It's
healing
the
and in everything
paradox.
else. Yes. Because you're damned if you have to get out of there, but it doesn't feel good at first. But after a while, you get accustomed, like the water. You get accustomed, you adjust to it,
Yeah.
adjust to the temperature. Like you were saying, adjust to everything. Our happiness is up and down. It's like we reset it
Yeah.
or whatever. And some of it is getting out. So yeah, being out of your comfort zone, I'm all about that now. I never was, but I think people who are successful understand they have to always be getting out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's a constant movement. To grow, you have to be. You don't grow in the same pot. The pot gets too small. You got to get into the next one. It's scary, but you got to go there.
Yeah.
You got to find a way there.
And
Sometimes
this,
you say, "How the hell am I going to get there?" You're like, "Who knows?" Trust. That's why I go with the trust part.
yeah. And
Trusting that inner guidance.
perfectly takes us to the full circle of the current coronavirus.
Yeah.
For humans, collectively, we're out of our comfort zone.
Oh yeah.
We've got comfortable with the flu and things like that.
Right.
We got vaccines. We're doing everything we can. We're comfortable with our level of whatever it is, mortality rate or whatever. We're comfortable with our current discipline on it.
Yeah.
Whereas this is something new. And then eventually we'll get comfortable with these new ones when we become an acceptable loss or an acceptable damage to humans. But for now, this is out of our comfort zone.
And then we can always be more comfortable if we do exactly what we need to do. Set up all have all this in preparation for.
Build the muscle.
Prepared. build the muscle, be prepared, create the space. Like you say, like when you're going down deeper and you're going out, because you're creating more space when you're going deep. You're
Yeah.
digging out a hole, digging out some more space. The more you keep
Yeah.
kicking stuff out, the more room you have to put stuff in. And you know what I'm saying? People, then so you can expand. And I think people don't think about life like that, but I like to because I'm a dork. No, I like to think of, I really do. I mean, this is going back, I was telling you before, a lot of people they don't understand the importance of it because a lot of people are looking for instructions from their leaders and what are our leaders saying? And they're only taking those people seriously. But, you know, you should always be like questioning everyone, every source. What is their agenda? Is there an agenda here? Like, and I think a lot of people don't understand some leaders have agendas clearly.
It's really interesting what you just said, actually. It brought something to mind. We're already uncomfortable. If you're comfortable and you're okay, you cannot come in and tell someone what to do. If your child's comfortable eating chips, you go in and try taking them away and giving them something else.
Right.
However, we're not comfortable with this current virus, so we're looking for someone to tell us what to do.
Yes.
So when we're uncomfortable, we need leaders.
That's why the young, and I'm also processing that you said, and I think that's why people don't want to change because they're comfortable.
Yeah.
And when you're comfortable, you don't want to leave your comfort zone because most people don't really want to leave their comfort zone because it's natural to want to stay in that homeostasis or that look for the pleasure or whatever level that is for you to stay in that little space. And then I'm understanding because the more I'm been growing compassion, I guess, naturally through this process, you grow compassion. All the things you have to worry about. My goal is to grow this much compassion by 2022. It doesn't work like that. Like you just have to flow with it. And sometimes you can feel less compassionate and like, what the fuck? And then someday you're going to be like, oh, I get it now. Because, you know, we have our moments and it's like ebbs and flows of life. So, but really the constant should be what your values are. What you really, if you go back to who you really are inside, what you believe or your value system, your compass is pointing, going north, true north, that thin thread, because you can feel when you're going, it's all trusting yourself, trusting that thin thread. So I'm like, when I don't listen to that thin thread, I pay. And so that's why I said, even judging people, like the dating sites, when my true north goes, no, this person, it tells me the instincts say, I listen to that now. And I really kind of feel like that's what I do. So that way because I don't want to put myself through heartache. And if I don't feel I can set my bar as high as I want to. If I want consistency, it's important to me.
Yeah.
Why I don't have to take inconsistency at all. People are like, oh no, give them a chance. You're being too strict. No, I'm not. It's my rule. Because someone can't be consistent out the gate, they're not going to be consistent throughout. And then I don't think you can grow love or trust without consistency.
No.
It's showing up. It's the showing up part and showing up with a good intention. And when you're consistent, you care about somebody, you're going to give them that level of consistency. And I look for that. And that has to be present from out the gate. And if it isn't, people say, well, you're being too hard. And, it's your opinion.
I've got to share this before we go. I can remember I was on Plenty of Fish, and it's a few years ago.
Oh, cool.
I met some great friends and all. I think I'm on there at the moment, but I don't think I've looked for a long time. And I've met some good friends and all on there, and I've had some great conversations. But I went to meet this one person, and I was sat outside the place where I was meeting them. And I don't want to give out too much because they may. And I sat outside this place waiting for them, and this person come over and was all right. And they went, all right. And I was like, so how are you? And after about 30 seconds, I looked at, damn, it's them. I didn't recognize them at all. They were nothing like their photo.
Yes.
Like 10 years on. And it was so embarrassing.
Were they older than their photo or like 10 years older or something?
Substantially.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, they look fine. But I just did not recognize her.
Right.
At all.
They didn't put the right. See, those people do.
No, of course, she recognized me. I was in a wheelchair. It's kind of obvious.
Right.
But
you don't know me, bitch. Was there anybody else?
She must have thought it was really weird because she stood there next to me, all right then, and expecting me to go, hi, and I just went, all right.
You act like you didn't recognize her?
I just didn't.
Oh, you didn't recognize her?
And then the
you
penny
legitimately
dropped.
Didn't recognize her because
I didn't recognize her.
Oh, wow.
Did
she end up recognizing you or no?
Well, she recognized me because she walked over and said hello.
Oh, she did say,
I was
okay.
meeting her outside.
You're like,
So,
okay, hi.
so
And
I
you're
was
like,
sat there waiting for her.
oh, so that's what happened. Now I'm understanding. So she walked over to you and said hi,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, hi. And then you
I,
didn't
I,
register that was
and
her.
it was just like I was being a polite conversation,
You're like, can I
not
help you with
paying
something?
any, because normally I would turn around, and I'm a hugger nowadays. I never was, but I'm a hugger.
Oh, yeah, me
And
too.
you
That's
know,
the oxytocin that gets flowing.
yeah, if I
That
meet you
love,
now,
that
I'll hug you,
chemical.
and if I like you, I'll hug you slightly tighter when you're about to leave go.
Yes.
You know that little
I
bit
really
of,
like you and
no,
give
I
you
like
a
this.
25-second inappropriate hug. And I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, 4 minutes later, bit weird.
Yeah, that's what
That's
psychopaths did to me. They
said the
hold me after
policeman to me.
they psychopaths will hold you 10 seconds too long. You're like,
Yeah.
can I get out of this hug? And you're like, I don't want to be rude, but the
Yeah.
comfort, they do it on purpose. But anyway, so
Yeah. The policemen always say that to me. But the
no,
prison
so it's
guard.
so funny. So I think it's hilarious that I wonder if that would happen to me. Like I'm meeting someone out and they're like, hey, how are you? I'm like, hey, what's going on? I don't recognize them. Okay, see you later. And I'm like, okay, where's my date? Like, just
Yeah. It was
where's my
exactly like
date?
that.
It would be like, then you like person's like, no, I am your, oh, are you so-and-so? How do you know my name? Oh, you're the, oh, sorry. I didn't recognize you. You look like, what are you going to say to that? You'd be like, oh, you look a little bit different. You can't be like, damn, you look old. You can't say that. You got to be like, oh,
Yeah.
and then of course your look on your face will reveal that already. You're like, oh, like because the face
Yeah.
doesn't lie. So that's why I've never met one person on a dating site yet because it never got to that level. It's just like we end off by the phone conversations and then they'll reveal they're insecure or something, or they'll reveal something I don't like, or I'll reveal something they don't like, or it'll be like like I said recently, it's in the dating site. We've talked about those choices, right? I just did another podcast I'll put on today about these choices. That we have too many choices. I did a little podcast kind of on that yesterday. So I'm going to put that one out. And then this one I'll put later.
I look forward to that.
And it's
I
going to be
really
interesting. It's only
enjoyed the
20
one
minutes.
you were talking about your dating on. They got to go back. Not the one you just done, the one before that. Oh, it's just hilarious. I loved it.
Oh, thank you. And I got this next one. Well, because I wanted to clarify because people were confused because some people were messaging me going, what are you talking about? What do you mean people aren't consistent with you? I'm not talking about like average people or like freaking like my friends or like someone I'm doing business with. I don't give a fuck. I can, I'm talking about romantic when your heart is at stake, when your heart is romantic is a different thing.
Yeah.
So when you have a different, it's a different requirement for someone who you're getting romantic with, because just like you're giving
Yeah.
more of all of yourself to someone, heart, soul, it's like your body, everything with romance in a way that's like really intimate. And I don't take that lightly when someone doesn't communicate. So I'm like, I've done that before. And I think I told people before, I don't put any eggs in the basket at all. I wait to see if the basket's safe. And I think consistency, if you're not consistent, immediately that basket already has a crack in it. And I'm like, oh, my eggs can fall through there. And I don't want that to happen because I know you don't seem safe. And then you have to take more time. Now and if your first instinct tells you, well, why should you have to? Someone should be, when someone interrupts a nice flow, and then she tried to put it on me. So I did read the messages and she tried to put it on me. She's like, oh, you're ghosting me. I'm like, you took 2 days to respond on something you said you're going to respond immediately. And then you're telling me I did that to you. So I'm like, listen, I just didn't say anything. Because why would I talk to that person after they already showed me? And then they're trying to put it on me. Like, it's like, listen, we were free, I'm talking like you and I were talking all the time, like for like a whole day, we're flowing. You go, I'll get right back to you with a time and date for our Skype. I'd be like, cool. And then you don't call text for 2 days. No, that's not consistent, is it? And so then she goes, well, where are you? I'm free now. She goes, oh, I'm free now. Oh, great. You're free now. And I saw you were online and I saw her online button light up. I'm like, so you're saying you're helping someone, but while you're online on the dating site? I didn't want to even argue with her. I was just like, screw her. She's lying. She wants to put it on me. And I'm glad my instincts told me the right thing. But still, part of me is like, the stupid part of me is like, oh, maybe I'm like, no, bitch, don't listen to that part. Like, no, I'm not listening to that little codependent part of me. It goes, oh, give her no. The zero, my heart is here. If you are inconsistent like that, and that's a really huge inconsistency from a big flow to nothing for 2 days. That's a huge blip in the pattern. And I don't want to set a pattern like that where I can be flowing with someone and they can cut me off and then, oh, I'll come back 4 days later. I just need my time. It's about me. Well, if you care about someone, you tell them, hey, I'm going to be gone for a couple of days. And what's wrong with doing that? Say, just in case you're trying to contact me, I'm busy helping a friend. That's what I would do. Because that just shows you I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm really helping a friend. And I won't be on fucking line while I'm helping a friend either. Like, on the dating, oh, you're helping your friend while on dating site? Like that's, so I just like, to me, it's like I get like, I care about myself now. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore. So I did another extensive on that. And I didn't read her messages. Like, I'm telling you a little bit more, but then I'm telling, well, I don't care. I'll leave this on this one because who cares? No one's going to care. They're not going to probably, if they do hear this, so what? I'm not giving too much information. I'm just saying I read her right. And I'm glad I did that. And so I'm just going to close her out and delete it and just like let her go. Because
Yeah.
I don't even want to use those dating sites, because here's the deal. Okay, another person's like, she's like, hello. That's all you're going to say is hello? Like, it's like, I don't know. How you going to start a flow with hi? Hi is not enough. If you really like someone, you say, ask some more stuff. And someone's like, hello. Like, and I'm like someone on a dating site, I'm not going to just say hello. That's like a very weak ass, like, you can initiate. You need, hi, now you tag you it. I want someone who's like confident enough to go, hey, I like you. And let me just tell you a couple things about myself. Come out the gate. I don't like that hello. So I don't know, I just want someone cool, someone strong like me. You gotta be able to handle me. And I don't think
I want you to hold this thought, because I reckon we should do another podcast on
oh, sure, I'll do it with you anytime.
Keith Witt's The 5 Things You Need for a Successful Relationship. And
Oh,
they're not what we really think, actually.
oh,
It's really interesting. I read about it about 2 years ago, and I'm not an expert, but it makes so much sense.
oh, let's do that. Why don't you give me the reference? I'll read the book. Is it a book?
Yeah. Well, it was a course I done online. I only done a
Oh,
little
it's a
bit, but
course.
I went to, but yeah, I'll give you the information. It's really interesting.
And
And
then I can look at it. We can
the
do a
5
podcast.
stages of a relationship as well. And I
Let's
recognize
discuss that.
where I've been dumped at each one of those stages.
Oh my
So
God.
it's really interesting.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, Steve,
we
let's do
should do
that.
that.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
That's like right up my alley right now, because I guess I'm not really looking for a relationship, but I'm saying it's like right up my alley in terms of like
Yeah,
knowing
that'd be
about
awesome.
them at least. Right now I'm in the process of, okay, I don't care about it right now. I'm not trying, but I like to learn more about it though. I like to like learn
Yeah.
more about relationships always. You can't, the
Yeah.
more you know, the better off you are in terms of, especially me, I have no concept of them. So that's, if you want to do that, then we'll set up another time to just discuss those 5
Yeah.
things that,
I'm gonna just share my cat being really cute for a
oh,
minute.
how cute.
Yes, we must do that. Just before we finish, actually, you're saying about relationship, and you're saying about like boundaries, really, and thing. We often think of relationships, and again, Disney's to blame for this. Relationships are this wonderful, happy ever ending. No, a relationship is commitment. It means you've got to change things in your life. You've got to
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice things. Relationship is sacrificing. Relationship is all the great things as well. It's companionship. It's someone to support you when you need it. It's giving you that thing you need in life, but it is also sacrifice. You're sacrificing some of your time. You sacrifice. So
Yeah.
why you wouldn't do that for a business? You wouldn't
No,
go into a business relationship if that person isn't willing to sacrifice at least what you're willing to sacrifice.
correct.
So and relationship is different to love.
Mhm.
And
Love can exist without a
you know,
relationship. A
yeah.
relationship
It,
can't really be good without love, right?
love is one thing. You can love someone, and my love is not. I was trying to think of the sentence where I always say,
Uh,
my love is not based on conditions, but a relationship is. And you know, like I don't want
That's right.
someone to
Love should
cheat
be
on me.
unconditional, and then
Yeah,
relationships are conditional.
and I'll still love them, but I'm not going to stay in a relationship with them because I
If they
love
don't,
them.
if they don't meet the conditions, like
Yeah,
I think they have to have lots of things for a relationship, and trust is one thing you have to build, and that takes time
yeah.
and takes consistency.
And
Showing
we have to learn to
knowing what to
give
expect from the
trust.
person, knowing who they are and what to expect from them. Because you don't want to be all over the place. Like that's like manipulators like to have you out of have
Mm,
control of things and have you inconsistent so they can control it. So
yeah,
they put the okay. I'm only going to contact you this, and then they can have control. So I think it's because too manipulators think. I think it's mainly because they're afraid of being vulnerable, and so if they have control, they don't have to leave any vulnerability because they're just more about that, about them not having this
it's about the comfort
security
again.
within, where they can just I'm secure inside, pretty much. I mean, I'm insecure at times, but overall, I generally would say I'm very secure as a person. I worked really hard. And we have made moments where I'm not secure, but I'm secure with who I am, what I am, strong woman. Let's go.
Yeah,
I'm not like I need you to make me happy. I don't need you. You don't complete me. I do. But if you're complete, like we talked before, 2 full glasses sitting next to each other. That's what we're looking for, right? No one
Yeah.
draining anyone, just an exchange, right? And I think a lot of people don't. I mean, when you're younger, you might go for that shit, but as you get older, like hell with that. I want the full meal, not a snack, not a crumb, not an
Yeah.
appetizer. We're sitting down for the whole thing. Let's get in here. And so I know what I'm worth.
And I don't want to ask for it either.
What's that?
I don't want to keep asking for it either. Oh, by the way,
No.
can you put this on my plate?
Yes.
Can you
Can
put that on the plate? Look,
yes.
I'm going to load your plate, but I
Mhm.
don't want to have to ask for you to load mine.
Right.
You know, it's a mutual thing. My glass is already full.
Exactly. God, I love that. That's brilliant. That's a good reminder. Well,
Hey,
and then
you made me think about it.
well, you made me think about it. I like that though. Now I like to do pictures in my head and like, that's right.
Yeah.
Steven said, I don't have to ask you to load my plate. It should be a mutual, like, my best friend. We don't
Yeah.
ask each other for shit. We just give each other shit. We don't even think about it. It's like an exchange. We don't go, if someday he doesn't have something, I know it's because he just doesn't have something. And if he can't load my plate, but in terms of emotionally, though, we're always back and forth. It's never been a draining. He'll always even ask for permission. He goes, today I might be a little more high maintenance. Do you mind if I talk about this? And then that's respect. Because what if I can't handle that for the day, The same thing with me. If I go, oh, I have this thing I want to talk about. Do you mind if I mention it? He's like, yeah, cool. So it's like, that's the whole thing. It's like that respect. And then also reading the person, but also like, and the exchange should be automatic. And exchange is of respect as well. That's another exchange. Oh, I respect you. How you feeling today? Okay. If you're not feeling up for this today, okay, never mind. I'll shut up. Sorry, I didn't realize. Or, so you always are concerned for the other person's well-being. It's not just about you, what you need. You care about them and being ready for it. And a lot of people they don't get that. And so I'm like, all right, well, I knew. And once I get something,
You cannot try to trust someone.
no,
It's either you trust or you don't. And you can say to
Mhm.
someone that I don't trust you at the moment.
Yep.
Say it to them.
Yep.
You know, at the end of the day. But you cannot, I will try to trust you. Because you're basically saying to them, you're lying to them.
Yeah.
You're giving them the illusion that you're trying to trust them, meanwhile not trusting them.
Right.
And it's the same as I'll try to get rid of my loneliness. I'll try to.
Yeah.
You can't. There's no try. Just do.
Trust is the feeling, and you go with it, and your actions coincide with it. Your actions are what coincide
Be
with trust.
honest with them.
Yeah, and honesty is part
You
of being.
know.
If you can trust them enough to be honest with them, then that's trust. You don't have to think about, am I trusting them? Because you're honest with them. That's
Yeah.
trust. You're vulnerable with them. That's trust.
And if
You're
you don't
allowing
trust them, tell them why.
Yeah,
You know, say,
can't tell them why.
look, I don't
This is why I
trust
don't
you
trust
because
you
of this,
anymore.
this, and this.
But that's if you have an established relationship with
Yeah.
somebody. You have a flaw. But if you just meet someone and they don't display qualities that are trustworthy, then like inconsistency and all those things, then you can say no. You don't have to even ask. Like I can move on from that. Because if I don't feel trustworthiness from someone, I don't want to waste my time. I know people say, "Oh, you're too harsh." No, I don't think I'm being too harsh. I think I'm being what my instincts tell me to be. And I think people in the world want to be too soft. A lot of people are like, "Oh, give it." Why? If you already know in your instincts, why would you want to go to prove it? You don't trust yourself. You have to trust yourself. And so I don't ask other people, "What do you guys think?" I just go with my instincts. Like, okay, this is what I feel, And I think a lot of people would be better off if they trusted themselves, is what I'm saying. That's why I always say it's the key to everything, because that's the letting go you're talking about, not letting go. It's like just allowing. Trust is just allowing life to happen. And a lot of us get in our heads and want to control things at times, but for the most part, I say I just trust life to happen, and I'm having so much more fun. I am so less stressed out. I always remind myself
that is
too.
the whole key with law of
Mhm.
attraction. Instead of planning how the relationship's going to happen or how
Yeah.
you're going to make the money or how you're going to find your
It's like,
freedom,
we'll see.
just concentrate on being free and
Mhm.
allow the universe to provide it for you.
Yes, and that's what I've been doing. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens, right? Can you imagine what's going to happen in a few years from now if I keep engaging in this process? I can't even imagine it. It'll be better than I can imagine. I already know that.
Freedom.
The freedom I
will
already
come
have.
back.
I already have it right now. But
Yeah.
just imagine like with the world, if I keep doing this, what I'm doing, like you and I are talking about, and all the things start manifesting, because they will. And when they do, I'm going to be like, holy shit, this is better than I thought. I know I will. I know it.
Well, it'll
Because it's always
become
better than what you can think of.
Yeah,
You
it'll
always,
become more of an everyday thing rather
yeah,
than a occasional thing during the day. Because it's not money we want. It's
no,
not any of those things we want.
the
It's
freedom.
freedom we want.
Yeah, from
And
fear.
we think money will give us freedom. We think a relationship will give us happiness. We think
Well,
all
let's not lie. Money does give you a little more freedom.
it does. And yes, I want money
It certainly
because I
does. Me
want freedom.
too. Because
It
money,
doesn't.
you want money because you want freedom, not because you want money. Right.
Yeah, I'm
So
already happy.
I definitely want money. I'm not telling the universe I don't. Like,
It's
give it.
not going to make me happier.
No.
If I was a billionaire, it won't make me happier. But what it will give me is more great experiences.
Yes, more freedom for to have experiences, because
Yes.
it frees up your time. If you're not doing work, making the time, a lot of time people spend is making money to live.
Yeah.
But when you have enough money where you don't have to do that anymore, and you have more, then you have more. You can take some time with that money, and now you have enough money to cover everything. You can go
Yeah.
do, and that's what I love about the idea of having that money one day. I don't care about it. I don't need it to be happy, but it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice.
Exactly.
I know it'll be nice because I like freedom. Who doesn't like freedom? That's what my podcast is really about.
Exactly.
Me speaking freely. It's easy for me to speak freely. Why? Because I am free. That's the law of
Yeah.
attraction. I am free. You cannot, you get your hands off me. Don't you touch me. Don't you touch
Yeah.
me. This is mine. You get away from me. That's why I love that Dido. Go back to Dido. This Land Is Mine is my favorite song.
It's
This
like,
Land Is Mine. Have you heard that song? It's on the album we like to repeat. This land is mine. Let you.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it in a while, as you can tell. It's like,
There's so many
long as
songs
you
like,
know
yeah.
this land is mine, or something like that. If I can, that's my thing. That's my theme song. This land is mine,
Yeah.
not yours. And if I want to let you plot over with me, that's fine. But you don't own it, and it's not for sale.
Yeah.
Like, I want people to know. I'm just like, I'm becoming really strong, and I'm really grateful. The stronger I get from the healing and the people like you exchange with, happy, positive exchanges. This is the kind of life I want to have. People who are on the level, who are like moving.
You hit the nail on the head. Is this land's mine, but I don't own it.
Yeah.
It's because even this body, I don't own it.
Oh,
It's
you're going.
it's going to disappear. Everything around here, this mic, none of it I own. It's
Right. You just
borrowed for my pleasure.
You
My
just said that.
body is
I wasn't thinking
here.
that, but you made me think that. So now I don't even own this land.
Yeah.
This is not even
No,
mine.
no.
This is okay. It makes sense now,
You
because
know,
really the body is not mine. It's gonna, in 7 more years, it'll look different. I'll have all
the
my atoms.
every atom in your body
It's gonna
has
replace.
come together to give you this experience of life.
Yes.
And they're giving up their life to do that for you
Yep.
temporarily.
Yep.
How deep gratitude is that?
Oh my God.
Thank you to these trillions of atoms that are sat here right now to enable me to have this conversation.
Yes. For me to be able to be alive.
And they're not mine. At one
No.
time, they were cucumbers, they were
Yeah.
chocolate
You're
bars, they were
right.
all the other
How deep are
things.
we getting now? We're talking
Yeah,
about the particles that make us up and
yeah,
how they're not ours. They're everywhere. And they come together to help us have this experience. Ooh,
yeah.
I gotta fix this. Note to self.
We own nothing. We take
Oh,
nothing with us.
that's right.
So
I love that. That's
everything
freedom
in
right
life,
there. I
even
think,
the thought, wow, thank you. An emotion, it's not mine. I can sit and witness this wonderful, great feeling.
yeah.
Thank you. You know?
Yeah. No, I feel you. I was just feeling it like, oh yeah, that's right. No, because it's true. I mean, I forget about that element too. We don't really, I enjoy everything that's around me. It's not mine, but I sure love it. I enjoy having the things little things that I have. I'm grateful for them. They make my life, I'm
Yeah.
looking right across from me here, is a picture my son drew for me. He sketched it. And that gives me joy because I know he took his time to draw this picture for me. So I have it in a frame. And then above that is like a teacup cup cut in half. And that teacup, what happened was my son broke it or cut it in half. And then they were afraid it was a family heirloom. So they said they made it into, they thought, because their dad thought that was a family heirloom. So, oh shit, your mom, what if this is like her grandmother's teacup, china? So they ended up making like a wall hanging out of it. So the cup is cut in half, and it's in a white frame. My son did it for Mother's Day gift. So I still look at them like, well, what the good thing came out of what they thought was tragic. Like, that was not even
Yeah.
that now that teacup means something to me, even if it were an
A
heirloom.
story, a
Because even
feeling,
if
an
even
experience.
yes, even if the teacup was my grandmother's heirloom, and my kids cut it in half, I would not be angry. But and I wouldn't probably even cared about the heirloom as much as I cared about their effort in making this beautiful project, whether it's whatever the intention was. It's just beautiful, and it's a great story, of course, because it's funny that they thought that they ruined something, and then they made it into something, and then they told me all about it. Like, well, by the way, so it's not an heirloom. If it weren't an heirloom, if
Yeah.
it were an heirloom, they're like, well, then we never would have told you. We're just like, well, we just made it better. But since it wasn't an heirloom, like, oh, we can tell you the truth. We thought it was an heirloom. Like, I love that. That
Yeah.
whole the way we are as people, what we do. And it's just really cool. And I was like, no, I love it. Now I'll keep that thing. There's only a few things I keep. These are my kids, because they did a lot of like effort and thought into things. And then I have another little thing framed over here in my living room. My son, it's like ABC mom, and it's got all the qualities he thinks I am. I almost want to read. Do you mind
Oh,
if I read
wow.
that? Do you care if I read
No,
that real
please
quick
do
and we'll
it.
get out of here?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second.
What a brilliant way to end the show.
Yeah, and we'll end on that.
Yeah,
You want
you
to end the
read it
show
out
now?
through. Yeah.
I'll read it all through,
Well,
and then we'll end the show.
I've got to go and eat
Okay.
in a
So
minute.
let me just do that real quick, and then we'll go. I eat whenever. I don't know. I'm not on schedule for eating today.
Well, my carer's cooking me tea.
Oh no. Okay. All right. I'll go real quick, and then we'll get out of here. So
No,
my son
don't go quick.
he made this thing. It's you see it in the camera? I can't really get it to focus on it.
Oh, yeah.
So I had this with me forever, and I think it's like a positive. It makes me feel like my son knew me really well. I'm like, how did he know me so well, or thinks? But all these things really are what I am. Like, did someone help him make it? And he was like young. He's probably like 10 or something. Like, how do you know I am all these things? Well, not really, but sort of. So anyway, so it's ABC. So all the letters of the alphabet with quality he sees in me. So Nez are really touched by this, and that's why I keep it. So ABC mom, actress is what she is, brilliant and awesome, comedian that is hilarious, diligent worker she is, extra loving and nice, fun for free, good at heart, happy all the time, independent, jumps for joy, kindest person ever, loves all cats, moves all the time, never eats meat, out of the box, perfect and always will be, queen of the house, reacts when she eats dairy, someone special to me, tourist to New York, useful and helpful, vegetarian she is, works at Hemingway's Bistro, xylophone is a musical instrument she plays, yummy food she cooks, and zany for cats.
Oh, I love that.
That's all really.
It's like they know you as well. Isn't
Yeah.
that so brilliant when someone knows something about us?
Yes. I think it's great. I love that he did this, because all these things are mostly true. Most of it. I'm like, that really is me.
And if you want to go to the depth of gratitude, you look at all of these feelings and emotions that have evolved over millions of years. And then not only that, the pen and the ink and the paper, the frame, everything has come to this moment to give you that experience.
Yeah, you're right. And I still hang on to it. I'm like, I like this.
Yeah. But it's not the frame.
Because someone knows,
it's not that.
someone knows and loves me, and that's the experience.
Yeah.
Feeling of being known by someone who you love, and
It's
they
been
love
seen.
you, being seen, being heard, being loved, being reflected back, being shown that he paid attention to who I am. And it just made he's such a good kid. I feel blessed with having him as my son. It's experience, to have him. We're very similar. I just adore him. I'm so proud of him for being who he is, which is a smart, nice, kind boy. He's out there doing kind things. He'll run out of the car and help someone carry their laundry into the laundromat. He's just got this. I'm so lucky, to have my sons. I mean, that's the thing. So yeah, but I know you got to go eat. I eat one meal a day, Stephen.
I should do that. I am fasting from the evening to the morning now, like 16 hours. I'm doing that.
Oh, good.
Not every night, but I'm doing that most nights now.
Most nights. Does it make you feel better?
Tea and things like that. It gives me more energy because it helps my pancreas and all that. It's amazing. This chat's gone from world collected with the coronavirus to sorting our teeth out, emotions, thoughts.
Yeah.
What a lovely experience of depth.
What a great podcast.
Yeah.
Episode. It was really fun.
Yeah.
So we get to talking.
Thank you. Yeah, let's do this again in a couple of weeks. And let's do a dating special.
Oh, yes. I need it. I've done a lot of reading on it. So I'll do how about I do some reading and I write some things and you do your things and do your five.
And we got to bring some of our experiences.
And then we can talk some stories too.
Tell
some stories.
Absolutely.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be juicy because I get to hear some of your dating stuff. I can't wait to hear some of your dating stuff, Stephen.
It's going to be interesting.
I can't wait. Well, cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being open.
And oh no, you're welcome. Thank you for being open. That's just, it should be on here. Open out of the box.
That's enough.
No, but I know. So, okay, I'm going to do the last thing. So this has been another episode of Easy for Me to Say with Danette Mark. And thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.